In our continuing series of the principles of child rearing, so principle number 3 is education begins and ends at home. Now, there's a misunderstanding of the term education. There are two distinct elements in education. Education is acquiring skills and information, writing, reading, general knowledge, then more specifics, language, etc. That's acquiring information. And there's no question the schools do a fine job. Depending on the school, one has to be very careful in the selection of a school. But because of the size, very often, of classes of schools, so it's very hard for the school to be this environment where personalities develop. Personality development is a very subtle and very delicate thing. It's something that has to be very personalized, and an overwhelmed teacher with many, many children and a curriculum to live up to, and tests and grades and discipline, it's hard for such a teacher to really focus on taking the individual strengths of a child and developing them and honing them and adjusting them where necessary. So it's a very big error that many times parents make and think, well, I sent my kid to a good school, I'm sure they'll do a good job educating him, and that's it. We're busy in our lives, we're busy in what we're doing in our lives, and the kids will develop in school. In school, they certainly, hopefully, will acquire a lot of education. They will acquire skills. They will also acquire social skills, because it's important for a child to be able to learn to interact with others, to interact in difficult situations, challenging situations. These are all skills they'll acquire. But that development of the personality, of the character, of the midot, of these subtle elements which make up the essence of the person, these things are developed in the home. These things are developed in a very private, personal setting, where a loving parent is ever watchful, knows the child well, knows exactly what the child's strengths and weaknesses are. And this loving parent will start educating this child and building up this child midot, personality traits, which become very much at the forefront of his personality. There is a very great principle that a happy child will be able to ingest vast amount of information, because schools are all the time feeding him with lots and lots of information. But if this child is disturbed, if this child has personality issues, then the kli, the receptacle that is taking in all the education, becomes a shaky kli, becomes a shaky vessel. So therefore, there are two distinct roles. There's the role of the learning skills, social skills, information, and this can be all kinds of information, be it Torah studies, be it whatever kind of secular information that a child requires. All of these things, sure, the schools, hopefully one is to find the best school with the best teachers, but don't assume that they're going to build the character, they're going to build the personality. This is something that must be done by father and mother, must be done in a very, very relaxed kind of a setting. It has to be a long-term type of a process, and something that requires often discussion, sometimes even consultation. But we're building a kli, we're building a vessel, and this is something so vital to the child's future. So the real molding and developing of the personality is best achieved at home, the child's natural and most comfortable environment.